Welcome back to our channel, where we share updates and untold stories about Catherine, Princess of Wales, and her royal family. Today, we bring you some news. Prince William's statement on Queen Camilla's family and financial allegations. Recently, royal observers have been intrigued by reports suggesting that Queen Camilla is discreetly working to incorporate her family into the royal establishment, some allege onto the royal payroll, while speculation arises regarding a clandestine bank account in Switzerland, allegedly financed by Duchy of Cornwall assets. Although these assertions are mostly unverified by formal inquiries, the implication of scandal they evoke has sufficiently ignited public intrigue. Prince William's resolute position over this alleged plot has been particularly notable. Insider stories indicate that William has assertively said that if Camilla attempts to use duchy monies for the benefit of her family, she must reimburse the whole amount, therefore delivering a significant symbolic reprimand that resonates with many in Britain and abroad. People say that William's actions, especially his choice to remove Camilla's sister Annabel Elliot from a high-level position connected to the Duchy of Cornwall, show how seriously he takes any suggestion of favoritism or misuse of royal funds. For years, the British monarchy has endeavored to foster an image of contemporary openness, aiming to dispel any residual doubts about their decision-making based on personal benefit rather than public obligation. By adopting a stringent approach, William has clearly indicated that the traditional practices where the monarch's associates and family could indiscriminately access royal finances will no longer be tolerated. William's position: accusations of family members on the royal payroll. William's determination solidified in mid-2024 when he chose not to extend Annabel Elliot's contract as the interior designer for residences belonging to the Duchy of Cornwall. Annabel has been actively involved in the decoration and refurbishment of duchy estates since 2005, which coincided with Camilla's formal integration into the royal family. For about 20 years, she got considerable compensation, reportedly totaling several £100,000 for her design services, all charged to the duchy, which essentially exists to finance the public and private responsibilities of the Prince of Wales. In formal remarks to esteemed publications like The Telegraph, William's office emphasized that Annabel's departure did not indicate a lack of professional ability. Instead, they suggested that her efforts had reached a logical end. Nevertheless, experts observe that this alteration coincides remarkably with William's ambition to modernize the organization and eradicate any semblance of nepotism. The insiders assert that the duchy's budget and the monarchy's finances should adhere to elevated ethical standards, implicitly contrasting with past practices. Royal watchers saw the event as a definitive line in the sand. William's stewardship of the duchy is not influenced by personal partiality or familial connections. His stepmother's kin cannot presume they will get permanent roles on the royal payroll. With a decisive action, William terminated Annabel's exclusive control over the design of duchy-owned luxury mansions, eliminating competitive bidding and transparency. The conveyed message was unequivocal that, under the future king's oversight, no individual's personal ties, even those of Queen Camilla, would inherently secure them profitable positions inside the monarchy. The alleged covert Swiss bank account? In addition to dismissing Camilla's sister from the duchy's payroll, allegations of a clandestine Swiss bank account have intensified the atmosphere of intrigue. These allegations, presently categorized by the media as rumors rather than substantiated facts, suggest that Camilla may have sought to divert funds from the Duchy of Cornwall into a concealed account overseas. If established, such covert actions would be a clear breach of royal finance regulations, which mandate openness and comprehensive audits. Neither Buckingham Palace nor the duchy's official communications have recognized the existence of a Swiss account. Annual audits of the duchy are publicly accessible, and financial experts assert that hiding substantial amounts in this way would be challenging under contemporary transparency regulations. The financial affairs of the royal family have been under persistent examination in recent decades, especially after disclosures like the Paradise Papers in 2017, which revealed that Queen Elizabeth's Duchy of Lancaster had interests in offshore tax havens. However, in none of these recorded conflicts has there been a plausible suggestion that Camilla had a secret slush fund abroad. The scent of scandal persists. particularly due to the monarchy's intricate history with openness. In 2024, a Channel 4 and Sunday Times investigation entitled The King, the Prince, and Their Secret Millions analyzed the revenue generation of the duchies of Cornwall and Lancaster, examining the humanitarian and civic activities associated with these properties. The probe revealed financial procedures that some opponents considered opaque. However, it found no definitive proof that Camilla or any of her family members were diverting funds into personal offshore accounts. Currently, the Swiss account remains an unsubstantiated speculation. However, it persists among royal skeptics who fear that decades of royalty may still conceal hidden reservoirs of riches. A breach of royal protocol. From a procedural perspective, appointing Camilla's family to the royal payroll or using duchy finances for personal benefit would directly compromise the monarchy's recent efforts to portray itself as morally sound and aligned with contemporary standards. The royal household tries to avoid conflicts of interest because it has to balance its privileged position with the fact that a lot of its wealth comes from public duties and long-standing national traditions. Consequently, the concept of employing a monarch's kin or diverting estate earnings into their possession without scrutiny is profoundly troubling. We can classify such actions as nepotism. Contemporary examination reveals that nepotism in public or quasi-public organizations incites criticism that may rapidly tarnish their image. The Duchy of Cornwall is fundamentally a private estate. Nonetheless, it has public implications, primarily serving to provide financial assistance to the heir apparent in their public and philanthropic duties. If Camilla attempted to divert duchy money to her family or foreign accounts, she would jeopardize not just her reputation, but also the integrity of the future king's inheritance. An undisclosed account in Switzerland would exacerbate the situation. At a minimum, it would certainly violate transparency regulations and might provoke legal concerns over taxes or concealed assets. The very suggestion of such an arrangement evokes notions of clandestine transactions and royal privileges, directly opposing King Charles's well-reported efforts to modernize and simplify the monarchy. Years before, many members of Parliament expressed apprehensions that Camilla, as Charles's consort, was inadvertently profiting from duchy funds. If further information emerges indicating that her family misappropriated this royal money, the ensuing public backlash and demand for supervision might be substantial. Significant consequences. The termination of Annabel Elliott. Although the charges about the Swiss account lack corroboration, there is at least one verified instance in which William acted to avert or rectify perceived nepotism: the termination of Annabel Elliott's position on the duchy payroll. This solitary but pivotal occurrence illustrates William's commitment to safeguarding the duchy's integrity and maintaining the monarchy's public reputation. For about 20 years, Annabel Elliott has been the primary interior designer for several duchy properties, a role for which she allegedly garnered considerable remuneration, free from conventional bidding or competition. Upon legally assuming control of the Duchy of Cornwall's finances and operations, as is traditional for the Prince of Wales, William discreetly chose not to extend her contract. Instead of sending a press release, William revealed the information in an annual report. Palace insiders discreetly suggested that Elliott's long-term initiatives had inevitably concluded. The royal modus operandi is refraining from fueling speculation with sensational remarks. They often prefer to mitigate controversy with calm and understated adjustments. Nonetheless, those who regularly monitor the monarchy did not overlook the importance of this move. William illustrated that any dubious arrangement inherited from prior years will be examined and may be terminated. By openly retracting what seemed to be a personal favor granted to Camilla's family, William has advocated for the principle that the duchy should operate as a contemporary, professional estate. Analysts praise the initiative as part of a larger trend of streamlining linked to both William and his father, King Charles. The monarchy must maintain an unassailable reputation, especially in an era when public opinion may rapidly change on social media. Camilla subsequently appointed Annabel as one of her queen's companions, an honorary role similar to the traditional ladies-in-waiting. Although the position grants prestige, it does not provide a publicly financed income, hence presenting much reduced transparency risks. The evidence indicates that the royal household devised a method to retain Annabelle's proximity while distancing her from any financial arrangements that may provoke scrutiny. The interaction between visual representation and internal mechanisms. Prince William's firm position has inherently influenced the internal dynamics of the royal family. Some see his action as a clear indication to Queen Camilla that her extended family would not get automatic support during his tenure. Similarly, it serves as a reminder to King Charles that William has sufficient autonomy within his jurisdiction, the Duchy of Cornwall, to establish financial regulations that satisfy public sentiment and preserve the monarchy's popularity. Nonetheless, there is little evidence that William's decision incited confrontation between him and his stepmother. Close associates of the king have allegedly said that Charles has more pressing matters to attend to than concerning himself with the retention of a design contract by his wife's sister. Simultaneously, Camilla has opted to refrain from making any public remarks on the issue. This controlled silence exemplifies the royal family's normal approach to internal financial or personnel matters discreetly, prioritizing continuity above conflict. For William, the advantages of asserting a position are many. He has long been considered the monarchy's emblem of the future, youthful, more approachable, and aligned with contemporary principles. By rejecting even the appearance of nepotism, he emphasizes his dedication to a monarchy that prioritizes national service above self-interest. This moral superiority sharply contrasts with scandals surrounding other royals and resonates with many who feel the Windsors should embody public-spirited leadership. Is it possible for a clandestine account to emerge? No public evidence indicates that Camilla, her children, or her sister transferred substantial amounts of duchy funds overseas. However, the speculation has persisted, exacerbated by centuries of confidentiality and the monarchy's somewhat convoluted financial frameworks. Critics who are often dubious about monarchy as an institution readily emphasize any indications of concealed riches. Notwithstanding the aridity of official auditing reports, conspiracy theories often proliferate about prominent individuals such as the late Queen Elizabeth, King Charles, and their immediate family members. There would be a big scandal if more documents or leaks proved that Camilla had a Swiss bank account. This is especially true if they showed that duchy money had been stolen. Government entities may initiate investigations, and the British populace might vehemently oppose such fiscal machinations. The narrative is currently unsubstantiated. The standard official stance from Buckingham Palace is to provide no comment about unverified reports. Occasionally, they provide comprehensive declarations emphasizing that the monarchy complies with legal and financial standards and that public monies are not used for personal gain. Even the mere implication of misconduct may damage reputations. William's strategy of eliminating any dubious arrangements from the duchy's activities serves to shield the royal family from any repercussions. If further severe charges arise, the Prince of Wales might reference his prior reforms as proof of his intolerance for misconduct during his tenure. Wider public response and contemporary monarchy. The announcement of Annabel Elliott's departure from the duchy elicited a spectrum of reactions from the media and the public, ranging from supportive to somewhat inquisitive. Royal journalists from publications like The Telegraph and The Daily Beast said that William was successfully eliminating the last elements of nepotism within the duchy. Commentators lauded him for establishing elevated ethical standards consistent with contemporary monarchy, one that is less dependent on antiquated privileges and more receptive to the principles of equity and accountability. Proponents of Queen Camilla said that Annabel Elliott executed significant design work assisting in the refurbishment of many estates and was entitled to remuneration for her professional efforts. They expressed discontent with the portrayal that reduced her to being Camilla's sister, while overlooking the notion that her abilities alone warranted her enduring position. Some observed that no formal investigations identified any misconduct regarding her contract, suggesting that the monarchy opted to undertake a restructuring freely. Significantly, the narrative did not escalate into a conflagration. A significant portion of the British populace was more preoccupied with alternative royal matters and did not express a substantial outpouring of indignation against Camilla or her sister. This muted response may indicate a phenomenon of scandal fatigue following the issues surrounding Prince Andrew, the public criticisms of royal life by Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, and King Charles's adjustment to his new position. Simultaneously, the rumor of a clandestine Swiss account circulated on social media and niche platforms, attracting the interest of fervent critics and conspiracy theorists. They argue that centuries of custom obscure the monarchy's riches, while an exclusive circle of courtiers safeguards them. Nevertheless, mainstream media has not revealed evidence of such a story. The majority of coverage only indicates that these reports are unsubstantiated, so inhibiting any public outrage that may compel government replies or investigations. William's vision for modernization and the path forward. Prince William's stance indicates a forthcoming monarchy that values openness, as shown by his resolute denial of unrestricted access to duchy resources for Camilla's family. Insiders indicate that the Prince of Wales aspires to a leaner monarchy that dissociates itself from the idea that aristocratic relatives may ascend to privileged positions only based on their personal ties. In this regard, the Duchy of Cornwall, under William's governance, might exemplify ethical leadership for the whole royal family. Since receiving his inheritance, William has emphasized philanthropic and ecological initiatives, in addition to fulfilling income tax obligations on duchy revenues. By making these actions stand out, he sets an example that the monarchy's finances are being closely watched, which goes against the common belief that royals can use estate assets however they want. If managed well, this position might assist the monarchy in preserving its legitimacy in the public perception, particularly among younger demographics who exhibit less tolerance for perceived elite privileges. The immediate repercussions of William's initiative for Queen Camilla seem rather benign. She continues to be a cherished consort to King Charles, executing her formal responsibilities as Queen Consort. No longer employed by the duchy, her sister seamlessly integrated into Camilla's inner group. Simultaneously, her son Tom Parker Bowles advances his professional endeavors devoid of the speculated royal titles or formal roles that detractors anticipated Camilla may get for him. Whatever her goals are, it is clear that William's firm stance has made it clear that associations that are biased or morally questionable will face opposition. Thank you for watching the video. Please let us know your thoughts. And goodbye for now.